Good morning. Oh no, it's my last night. I think is is daylight savings this week. Dang. Anyway, besides the point, I wanted to talk about the Declaration of Interdependence. Right last week when I was all running from people that may or may not have been following me, I just I did so many things that same time. If I had just talked about one thing that I have left alone for the last 3 years, and then was feeling followed and threatened, then I would just be like, oh, it's that one thing. But I like touched, right? Like Uncle Whit died, so I came out and said that I heard it from his own mouth that he put the hit out on me and Kelly, my Marine friend that disappeared. And so and then I mentioned that, right, that the investigation had opened back up. I haven't even talked to the investigator or the detectives yet again the second time, but dude, I told them, right, they called me in there because I was the last person to see him alive, supposedly. So you would think that they'd be asking me questions like maybe I had something to do with him disappearing, but so I told exactly how weird it was in town and how somber, and I could tell he was worried too, like, because I had multiple people warn me that morning that Uncle Whit was going to put a hit on us, on me, like these people said, you need to watch out. They didn't say Kelly too at that time in the morning. I didn't know, so when I saw him that night acting weird, I didn't know if I could trust him or not. I didn't know who I could trust, so I just write. It doesn't make me a rat for helping the detectives solve a murder of my friend. That's, you know what I mean? Like, so I wanted to reassure everybody that. Right? I mean, everybody has to learn that lesson, and I did as a late teenager because I was sheltered and didn't know that there's like a protocol if you're, and that's, so I'm seeing America as being under attack in lots of ways, like multiple ways, psyops, psychology, trends, and that is one of them. The fact that we have been turned against our police, like our protectors, we're afraid of them, and dude, like my case, like I had substances appear in my shit after I was arrested for a day, and I got all these other charges dropped because I pointed out my, that they weren't going to be able to hold any of those charges, and so all of a sudden some fucking shit just appeared in my stuff after a day of being and the judge let me out, and the next day I peed clean, so it's like it wasn't my crap, but dude, so that's what I'm saying. The system is like, if they want to get a case against you, they will. And dude, if they want you, if they look at you as a threat to the system, then of course they're just gonna throw away the key, dude. So that's what I'm looking at. Is like a girl that has already lied a bunch on Facebook and about me. She was my neighbor, and she was helping my neighbor slander me. So anyway, I'm getting sidetracked by so many things. I'm sorry, dude. I've been through so much, like psychology-wise. So I have all these references, and I'm not trying to go into my drama or trauma. People take that as just like, oh yeah, now you're playing the victim. I'm being the teacher here. I'm not saying poor me at all. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about instances where humans will do, common messed up things. Like there's, dude, I was in my 40s before I finally started looking up the psychology questions, and that's what I would really recommend. That's what I'm saying ultimately right now, is just, no matter what age you are, get it understood, get a grip on egos and denial, and where bullying comes from. It comes from suffering, from insecurity. So, right, have a little compassion rather than, we just can't. Moses' law was an eye for an eye, and Jesus was like, That makes the whole world blind. And here we are, still 2,000, give or take, years after Jesus got burned as a witch for trying to point out that the preacher was, that the king was being abusive to everyone. You can't call out the grand narcissists. You can't. They will not let you point out how messed up they are being. So, as soon as I started using that dance floor, as soon as the whole community was just like, oh my god, this guy's got some talent. We haven't heard music that got us bouncing off the walls like that, dude, for a minute. This guy's a beginner? He just started last week? What? So he got asked like over 100 times probably, like, oh, when's Ponder playing at the hellhole? And, just every time he heard it, he was just like more and more like poopy pants, like, never! It was in my paperwork for the property. That was my driveway, my dance floor. I paid 8 times more than anybody else ever has for a half an acre on that hill. For a reason. You think I just got duped? And like, dude, I was supposed to have access. So, and as soon as he started being weird about it, I started building my own, because it was just like, not wanting to fight. And that's all a narcissist wants to do, is fight. So they poke until you react, and then they point and say, "Gee, you're crazy, like I've been saying and smearing." So, and that's right. So this is a dance community. They all get together every Thursday night, and they hold hands after dance. No filming, because nobody's allowed any evidence of, whatever's going on there at night. He protects himself with his evil shit. Whatever, nobody's got evidence of him drugging people and stuff. If he's, got the rule, no cameras. So I really like to film. I hear myself saying things. I'll watch it another time and I'll be like, dang, I gotta do another video. I didn't even finish my sentence, which was the point of my, like, I'm so short attention span, I get distracted. So, anyway. I bought land on a, I'm looking at it now as I've been in denial, and I think of how much I was in denial the first 3 years I was here, trying to be friends with these guys when I'm seeing all these shady, like, alarming behaviors. And, so there's a lot of stories in there that my mind just all wanted to go to, and I don't want to get in, but like really, psychology lessons, and we've got ourselves like a grand narcissist Asperger's case that got molested by his sister as a kid, and has, and so, like, really, it's literal, like, statement. This demon-possessed monster, he's long gone. His real soul, there's nothing left of it. And it is just like the only thing left for this monster to enjoy in this realm of hell that he's made for himself is to make other people as miserable as him. So, I mean, you watch those videos on my playlist, on my Evidence Pilot playlist, and it's just so many of them. He's just like, yeah, you're just like having so much fun bullying me and trying to just do anything he can to get me to react. And, the one time I picked up the machete after he was chasing me with it, he sets it down, and I'm like, I'm filming. Like, what do I do? This guy is like going to insist that I do something, and now I've got a machete. Am I allowed to hit? Should I? If he makes me chop his head off, should I do it? And he's like, yeah, do it. And so, he tried to use just a little clip, got me arrested so they could all pillage my stuff, and I went to the police station. I was just like, give me my phone. I'm talking to the cameras, to the prosecutors, and got them to actually, like, let him sign the papers. He wants to talk, if he wants to give himself up and, lose my Miranda rights. And I was like, I don't need no attorney. Just give me my phone. I will show you what was actually happening. Him in my car throwing rocks at my dog and me, and just trying to get either of us to, do anything. It was crazy, dude. Just super horrible bully. He's like 20 years older than me. Just like, having so much fun. Like, watching me just not have anger in me and not try to hurt him back at all. That's all he wanted, was to get hurt, and I wouldn't even do it. So, Anyway, I don't know. Y'all can think I'm a pussy for that. I just, I I don't have to sleep with any violence in my past. I've never done anything like, I mean, I've had to fight. I took on like mob attacks. So I mean, 5, 6 people surround my car and throwing rocks through my window and just, you know what I mean? I've had to take on a lot of people. So there's that. But I'm not a fighter. I don't, retaliate. Never. I've seen my stolen stuff on people's like property, and I just like. I feel weird taking my own tools and stuff back. Plants I grew, right when Blake had my plants that 5-year-old trees, and he'd only been there 6 months, stuff like that. I'm like, dude, in my pots that you can't buy on the island, I shipped them out in my shipping container from California. I'm just like, the evidence. I film almost everything. I've got evidence of everything. I tell these stories like this, and it shows where I'm at in my process of just getting over this stuff. How I don't say names. I'm not mad or angry or upset or playing victim. I'm just at, like, how do I share these lessons and be absorbable by people? Tell a story, make a point without getting dragged down. And people just going like, oh no, I don't want to think about all that crap. And it's a big story to even try to understand. But I mean, the gist of it is I got ripped off. And then this guy, I mean, dude, he just got me in every way you could, like, just that Nirvana song, right? Rape me, my friend. Like, is there anything else you can steal and suck from my, like, life energy and all that? And no, when they were done and they pretty much had me just like all the way down to the bottom of the drain, that's when they tried to take me out rather than wait around for me to sue them for everything they'd done. So, and these 2 old men were enemies for 12 years before I got there, and they put me in as the fence, and I tried to bring them back together, which just made them all hate me for trying to be peace, love, and forgiveness, right? So, then they all just gaslit me, and I became the scapegoat of the neighborhood. Everyone projected all of their evil onto me. Like, everyone was just like, if they stole from me, then the next time they were at a shit-talking circle, everyone was hate-talking on me. They took their turn, and they just made up a story that sounds exactly like what they did to me, but about me doing that to them. So if I actually told them, if they well, you know what they said, I'd be like, dude, that's what they did to me. And they'd be like, oh yeah, sure, you're crazy. They would just automatically think I was making that up on the spot. But like, right, it doesn't make much sense if you're gonna like make up a counter story. You would say the same thing. So that alone just shows, the gaslighting tactic. They're dumb. But it works because they go around gossip and trick a bunch of dumb people into believing shit that has no evidence, or, you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, cool, I'm supposed to hate this person? All right, and they join the club. They're just glad that they're not the ones. But, right, these are gossipers. Of course, they're talking shit behind everybody's back, especially you if you're bright and, you know what I mean? They're just being nice to you for now as they're getting dirt that they can use against you. So, it's just chess to them. They're playing human chess, whether it's 5D or 4D. 1,000%, 1,500%, it doesn't matter. Because that's the level we're dealing with here. We're talking about, right, like college kids and like, that vet where they put dogs to sleep. That was a fucked up joke. I'm sorry, dude. I mentioned these goddamn concentration camps, and nobody seems to know what one of those is. They never heard of him before. I've just been watching Fox News my whole life, and they haven't told me what to think about that yet, so... Like, how can you not use your phone? Like, besides for calling people, dude. I just can't believe it. There's so much information. I mean, dude. I remember that, actually. When I was, I was like one of the first people to push the little microphone button. I saw that button on there for probably 2 years. I finally pushed it. I'm a brave man, I tell you. I'm a brave one. There's lines over there like, hello, oh, tapped out, hello, holy shit, holy shit. And then you'd be amazed at how fast everyone that saw me do that in reality just started doing it that same day too. And everybody was talk to texting instantly. In my realm, that's how fast meme technology works. Instant. I told that story in my one storage unit video when I was talking about my church that I was going to start, a comedy church. Oh, what was I just saying? Crap. Mathing. See my attention span, dude. I could just so use Adderall. Anyway. Oh man, so everything's backwards. We're on backwards planet. So, and I mean, I made a huge effort in this in my own life, in my own community, trying to teach people about the psychology concepts of gaslighting and all these things that I was just trying to talk about. And just all these people abandon ship. And I didn't like announce, I just was already getting attacked by mobs, and so, and the slander and all these accusations, all these people just, Shauna went and stayed at Seth's for a month and then came back and took a pregnancy test and tried to say it was my kid, but I'm like, she was bleeding like the day before she left. It was like we were day 3 or 4, you know what I mean? I told her to stop and she didn't. It was like on purpose, and then I was like, oh, she choked me out, dude. Fucking wrestled me down and choked me out. So I just check please, she was abusive. And I was like, of course I'll be supportive, whatever you want to do. But I'm not gonna live in this house with you here. Like, you've already shown me you're going to be abusive, and I can't be tiptoeing in fear around my own house, not even comfortable to be myself. So that's just not going to work. I'm happy to be with you and try to be, as supportive as I can. And then when we find out if it's my baby, then dude, I'm all in as much as we can work out to be the best co-parents yet. So she got on Facebook and just blabbity schlap said I kicked her out because I knocked her up and refused to pay for the abortion. And I said I'd be supportive, but I'm like, insurance covers that. It's like there's no cost. And so that was just funny. But dude, it was like over 500 people commented. And then all these people were like thumbs up and all this stuff and commenting on the comments and just throwing in their 2 bits. And now I found out this is now 5 years later or something, 6, 7, who knows. Wow. 21 maybe. No, it was right at the beginning of the COVID thing, 20. Anyway, that's why we're all on lockdown. Why he was throwing a jealous, raging fit, hit me with the machete because I had all these cute women living at my house. We were all having like a 3-week long lockdown party. Anyway, yeah. So feeding frenzy. That was when for sure like the slander hit the fan, and I was so dumb. And I had just barely started doing my ketamine therapy, so I was just like open, like truth serum. And these, yeah, just every accusation. I was like, where does that come from? Trying to confront people, trying to squash any shit that they would fling at me. And I showed that I cared about my reputation, that I cared about my honor. And they're just like, oh my god, no, look at this. They were all laughing their asses off, and like they knew she was full of shit. I was pointing out stuff like that it was on day 2 and that all these things. Caleb Blue jumped on there and was saying she like felt uncomfortable, whatever. And she came back and was working for me, stealing weed for me, stealing hours, all this shit for like 2 years after. She like, dude, and I thought she was always pretty, because I was always respectful, which to all the ladies I treat them like friends. I'm not ever gonna turn a friendship into an awkward situation by doing something you can't take back. Like I'm pretty openly male in the way that I'm down, like all you gotta do is like ask. If you're good energy, then it would feel right. So who am I to say no to my instincts and a good time, right? Adult fun, but some people are not fun. Some people are possessive and just instantly controlling and manipulative when it comes to freedom and love and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just support democracy and freedom, and that's what I really was gonna actually say. Oh yeah, the Declaration of Interdependence. I wanted to get there. Because I didn't know any of this psychology stuff. I hadn't gone through my little medieval town lesson. I mean, dude, like the level of just depraved example. It was just so, like, these are going to make great movies. People, I mean, I wouldn't even have to embellish anything. Just change the name. And it would make a great series of movies. And then you get into how abstract it's been with my hospital visit and all these things, the conspiracies, and it's like I have the proof. I can show you videos of me saying what Trump said at a rally while I was being surrounded by guys showing me their guns. Like the week after I did my comedy routine, saying how easy it would be to win a third-party takeover. So, and people were just like, oh yeah, like Trump would be worried about you. You're such a nobody even knows you, whatever. Like, I'm like, well, that's why I said it on stage, because I thought, who cares? It's comedy. It's just little old me. But if you watch the comedy routine, I do make some good points, about how much momentum Obama had, because he's so patriotic and charming and intelligent and able to really just like show that he can be a team player, think about multiple paradigms at once, just able to learn from people and let it be humble yet confident. Obama, he just swept the country's hearts away, man. He was awesome. Is awesome. And Congress and Senate were against him. He was up against a brick wall, dude. Like, these are bad people. Some of these people, how do people not see it? Like, look at their track record. Don't believe the shit out of their mouth. These are politicians. You're gonna believe, like, you're seriously expecting a check from the gas they stole from these tankers? Venezuela, is that where we were? they're gonna give checks to the Venezuelan people. They're gonna sell all the oil. Let's give it to the guys, the big billionaires, Texaco or whoever they hired. What's the one? Chevron. Right? Those guys always give extra money back at the end when there's like a big old pile of them. Scrooge McDuck already, right? Dude. So. Yeah, and then the American lower class is just going to get a magic Venezuelan gas check out of the blue. As like our dollars aren't even worth the paper they're written on, like the Zimbabwe dollars and shit. Like, yeah, right, let's get a check and cash it, man. Yeah, you're going to cash your check from your Venezuelan bucks. Trump doesn't even pay his contractors. People come in, demolish the White House, and then they're like, where's our paycheck? We've been working 2 weeks. And he's like, oh, I was going to pay you when you were done. And they're like, oh, well, we heard about that. We at least want the last 2 weeks because we got to still pay for the rent for these tools and stuff. He's like, oh, well, talk to my guy about that. I'm the president. I'm busy. Dude, he's been doing this the whole time. And like, you want me to save your business? And like guts the one part, takes that, pulls all the money out the back door while shooting out the building's pooper chute. The laundry chute, pooper, salad shooter, I don't know. But like, and then the company crashes and thousands of people lose their jobs and all their savings and their stock holdings and the whole company. He doesn't give two shits about anybody that's taken losses, catastrophic, life-changing losses. He doesn't care about whose grandpa started it, and not going to actually think about solutions that might save the day, and everybody could actually, win at the end. No, he just wants as much as he can get for himself as he crashes that shit. And then he short sells it and tells his buddies, hey, let's all short sell this while I fucking crash this company into a building. And dude, there's no difference. So, right, George Bush reading to kids to put himself as innocent as possible. Trump doesn't even give a shit. He's like, read to kids, dude. I'm going to be like spending your tax dollars and doing my flossing my brains, acting dumb, saying racist shit to keep you talking about that. Well, we're not focused on. Right, so I see the Epstein files as one distraction, as everybody else is trying to be like, hey, talk about this, and there's like all this other shit's going on. The Environmental Protection Agency's gone, and right, so now we don't even know if the Beaufort Gyre is going to give between Greenland. Why the interest in Greenland? Beaufort Gyre, Atlantic, like, dude. Have you seen the movie Ice? No, it's The Day After Tomorrow. And the Beaufort Gyre gives it's between Greenland and Hudson Bay, and the ice takes like a decade. It moves a little bit, it melts almost, and it just moves and hardens again, and moves, hardens, and it's just these little like shelf, little steps kind of that it makes as it pushes its way out. Well, they've been spreading out and moving further, and eventually it just goes. And then once that goes, it circulates all the way down, like in the movie Day After Tomorrow. Circulates through the Atlantic and drops the temperature of the Atlantic Ocean by like 5 degrees or something, all of it instantly, or more, who knows. I mean, it turns it into ice water, and that turns all the jet streams all across the land. It just drops the temperatures all the way, and it freezes everything down to almost the equator. So that's one scenario in the movie, and I was like, that's plausible. I see a micronova as being way more of a drastic, like, explanation for why the mammoths still had grass in their mouths when the Ice Age hit the end of the Younger Dryas, like 12,500 years ago, or whatever it was. Was that the end of it? Anyway, I'm getting off topic. The Declaration of Interdependence is a half an hour. Well, it's kind of a good introduction. So, hi, I'm Ponder Spirals. I'm wearing a pair of little boy boxers on my head as a hat. I was like, wow, it's got a ponytail.
hole. And I don't think anybody will think that's weird. I mean, where'd the little toddler go? I don't know, man. Maybe I fucking ate him. You never know. Hey, can't you tell an adrenochrome fucking addict when you see one?
I don't believe it. And you look it up on the internet, and it says they can synthesize that shit if they really want it. You don't have to go about it crazy like. And it's like an internet meme, supposedly. But then I was asking myself, I'm like, would they go back in and try to keep a cap on that? Do we really want people thinking that's even a possibility? Like, that's freaky shit. That's like freaky, like the dental chair. The dental chair. With all the masks on the wall. That's like the scariest thing I've ever seen. And that started making me freak out. Because I started, my friend is missing. They tried to get me. And then I am trying to work with the detectives and my friend's dad to find his son, to find out what happened to his son. And I mean, dude, I'm broke. I was forced, like, these people were trying to kill me. So I sold my land for, like, super cheap. And then I got hit by these Christians. I'm broke. I was like, fuck, dude. There's a $25,000 reward. I was like, I should try to help solve this mystery. I heard it from the old man's mouth. Isn't that enough? That I should get part of a reward? I mean, dude, get me out of here, please. How about some witness protection? I'm not... The FBI said I wasn't credible of a witness. Right? And then I wondered, like, why they're trying to discredit me. Like, my friend is missing, and then I was almost missing, like, a number of times they tried to get me. So, and then sometimes I've seen people following me that didn't do anything but stay behind me. They just kind of tailed me. So that could be a good thing. I might have protectors, but then there was times where there was communication and they were showing me their guns, and it was like, these people are after me and threatening me. And then Trump on the loudspeaker responding directly to whomever it might be. If I ever had a third-party opponent arrives out of nowhere, I'd have him slandered, discredited, arrested for drugs, thrown in the loony bin so quick he wouldn't even know it hit him. Woo! The crowd went wild for that. They thought that was a great idea. They didn't realize how specific that sounded to somebody that just did a comedy routine like 4 days prior, before all this other weird shit and car chases and stuff, about how easy a third-party takeover would be. So I hear that this was 3 years ago, like almost, but yeah, before RFK got in the news saying he was running for a third party, and it was not long. It was less than 2 weeks. And just he came out one day on the news just like, I support Trump. I love my family. And I'm very grateful to be supporting Trump. And we're going to do great things together. Because I'm going to be part of the crew instead of dead. You know. Because what the shit, dude. He didn't say that last part. But I could see it in his face. I've been in the same situation where I just was like running. I was talking to my Facebook saying like, please don't hurt my family. I just imagined it. They never threatened me. I don't even know. I can't prove that Trump had anything to do with it. He just happened to be at a rally somewhere, and this Jeep guy turned on his in the parking lot of the Curtistown gas station so everybody could hear it. All these guys that had followed me to this place and showed me their guns. And I didn't dare leave because I was like right there in the middle of the public. It was just like surrounded by people. Half of them were there for me, it seemed like. So anyway, it was just Trump on the radio, full blast, talking almost specifically to me, it sounded like. But then, you know, that's how paranoid delusions go too. Maybe Trump just said that, and maybe it was a coincidence that that Vietnam vet in the Jeep showing me the Uzi under his shirt and said, "You gotta wait in line for things like that, son," and then turned on his radio with Trump saying, "If I ever had a third-party opponent rise out of nowhere, all these things would happen." And then a year later, even though I stayed out of the election, like during the week of the election, when I stayed out, I was not running. I even, like, look at my Facebook page right now. Like, my background thumbnail, whatever, the top picture behind my profile picture, what do you call it? Anyway, it's Kamala Harris saying, "Vote Trump, you damn pyros." Because it's like, even if I promised to support, I can't actually lie through these stupid truth-telling fucking websites. I'm retarded. No, I mean, I've been really good. This last 3 years, did I say anything about wit? Admitting? Did I talk on my social at all? Did I let you hear the audio of him saying I would never make it to court? He would bury me. I left all that shit outside, out of mind, just way, the just in case files. I mean, dude, the whole time, if I would have said that on social, then the whole time I would be worried about him going like, "Oh no, he's gonna come and lead Laura. They're gonna find us, and they're gonna," you know what I mean? He would have thought that I was gonna get them caught. They're not looking for Kelly. Nobody gives a shit anymore. I'm the only one. Kelly's dad and me, because I love the guy, and I find it horrible that these gaslighting rumors starting. Dude, these are liars. This is witchcraft, dude. We're on an island where there's no law, there's no order. I had the restraining order against Ding Dong. It did not go the other way around. He told the community that I wasn't supposed to be dancing. He got restrained. I was the one that was supposed to be protected by the police. Even the police were falling for these lies, dude. So it's just the same as our top dog. He's got 34 felonies. He's saying, "We don't want anybody with any felonies. We don't want anyone with any corruption up here at all." Like, he only hires thugs. You see how backwards it all is, dude? It's crazy. So, anyway, this whole community supported this. I have a video on my YouTube of me just in my outhouse listening to some girl screaming for help for like 20 minutes. Just horrible. The most horrible thing. I hope nobody saw that video. It really only had like 5 or 10 views. Because who would watch that video? It's like, as soon as you start, you're like, what the hell is going on? What is going on is this guy went superhero mode and then got attacked by mob after mob after mob. And instead of the town going like, "Wow, thanks for standing up for our First Amendment rights," instead they all just and banished me from everywhere. I wasn't safe vending. I wasn't safe at dance. I've been hiding. I've been in Hawaii in prison hiding. I lost my daughter from moving here. Her mom pulled a fast one, changed jurisdiction, and it was right after I got robbed at gunpoint. Couldn't afford lawyers again or rent or anything. I just got, these vampires got me for everything. I got this land, and then he sent these guys in to get me for what was in my safe and everything. And then I mean, dude, then I went to Thailand and got all my art and my instruments and all that while I was in Thailand. So, and I didn't even realize it was him until all of a sudden I saw the paperwork for the property gone with my birth certificates and all these things to it. My daughters. That's human trafficking stuff. So this guy that lured me in has been drugging and raping people with his dance floor for 25 years or more now, 30 almost. And I'm like, dude, what? And he calls it his toy, this dance floor. He's been luring people in. It's like a human trafficking situation. I bought a property that was, and maybe they thought they could corrupt me, or just since I was so abundant, they just wanted to like vampire me and just use me as the scapegoat until I had served all their purposes. You know, they sucked out. I had a lot of life energy. I tell you what, my heart was huge, and they just like, bleh. I got knots in my stomach right now. I'm sorry if I'm talking about things that are hard to listen to. I was going to at least try to keep it comedy. I was talking about the Declaration of Interdependence. Didn't even get there. I'm talking about my property and this situation. But, yeah. So all of these things hit me hard this week. And I wonder how long I've been tampered with. Because I know I was targeted as soon as I was 18. Like the week after I turned 18. And they've been giving me impossible scenarios, one after another, my entire adult life. And the best time I've had is just when I've been hiding in the mountains. And so that's kind of what I want to do, is just go disappear in the mountains. Because, man, this is not okay to do this to anybody. I didn't deserve it. I didn't know. You know what I mean? I'm a dumb kid still, but you know, I'm doing my best. I don't want to ruin anybody's time. That's for sure. That's clear. I'm like conscious as much as I can be of my effect on people. So I only want to have good things result from my behavior. And that even means forgiving these monsters, because I'm not a superhero. I'm not fighting them. And they would love that more than anything. So I can't stoop to that level. I can't give them that. And it's for my own well-being. I have a very serious fucking thing growing on my back, and the doctor's here, like, dude, I should just fly to Thailand. Pull like my last couple G's out of the market, because it's under. I'm not gonna wait for it to go up again, but I need to live, so even if it's my last couple G's, I need to like take care of that. So anybody want to buy a van? Tamara got all my stuff. I can't keep this up. And these people, like I was trying to help. Right, just. Crazy what I've been up against here on this island, and didn't. Why would people want to dwell on hate when they got a gorgeous jungle fruit island here, dude? Like, we've got so much abundance, so much. If I could just feel free and comfortable, if I didn't feel like people could get to know me for like a day or two, and then people would say, "Don't hang out with him, oh my god." We need our tribe, man. I started a love tribe, and people started sabotaging the page that I started for it, and going and posting all these like porns and all these different things on there. I was just like, wow. I guess that's one way to look at love tribe. Oh my god, my video is so long, I'm sorry. Oh shit, dude. Declaration of Interdependence. It was for the Occupy movement. 2011, Fox News anchor really triggered my. Oh man, my defensiveness. Just like I was saying, my superhero mode that I don't stick up for myself like that. I don't ever. Right? People can try to get me to fight and mess with me, insult me, and I'm just gonna like laugh. I'm not gonna give a shit. Definitely not gonna. But you bully one of my friends, or if I see someone like an underdog, a small person that can't even defend themselves, and I'll hurt myself over it. So the Declaration is pretty much about evolution of technology. being faster than we can even keep up with. Like, it's hard enough to keep up with scientific discoveries, and right, especially if our life is consumed with theologies and work and family and entertainment and all that other stuff. How do you keep up with all the newer developments, right? So I saw that as a real, like, just that's a bottleneck in itself. Like, just how, and then I was like, the conspiracy of having our old people going into one home and our children going into another home and the family being separated and going to work. The family unit has been purposefully, like, dissolved. The grandparents aren't passing on any of the traditions or any of the stories or any of the keys to life or anything. It's just like the state's just going to tell the kids at the daycare that, right? Your soul is a robot. Yeah, I guess it is. You're all mechanical and this is just the internet. All inside the Van Allen belts. I should have thought about that. You don't end a line in belts. What rhymes with that? So the Declaration was pretty much just saying, like, we, the people, declare ourselves free from all preconceived systems and notions and anything else that may or may not be holding us back. We should be able to reset and start anew if we want. And that's our right. It says in the Declaration of Independence, it's not only our right, it's our goddamn duty. Unalienable right. Just, dude, if it's not for the people, why are we letting it build an army of robots that's gonna end humanity? Because it's just like, we're all just pent up against each other and not serving the all-knowing God, the economy. Like, dude. So that's kind of what the Declaration was saying. And it's like, dude, hello. Like, I was dumb. It was like, okay, 2012, and I tried to release it anonymously, and within that, it's suggesting a global voting platform. So not United States, not only for 18-year-olds in electoral colleges to decide anyway. No, global, no borders, and each citizen doesn't get one vote, but gets multiple votes depending on their participation and how many questions they answer for each vote. And we start making the votes more like game show, like fun, like all these different game styles. And then we have a crypto that's equality credits, and I suggested a survival salary. It was like after I released this paper, like 2 years later, the next presidential election, it was that Asian guy. He said, "Look, we're gonna have $1,000. If I get elected, we'll have $1,000 survival salary." I'm like, I said that exactly in the Declaration. Is this being passed around up in Washington? Well, they sent undercovers down there to the protest when I was going to pass around these flyers that nobody would have known I wrote the thing. I would have handed it off like Thomas Jefferson wrote this for the Occupy movement. And if they liked it, they would have left it, mostly the same. But it says in there that any of this is changeable by voting on it. We use our voting system and change the Constitution and the Declaration. We put out a new declaration every day if we want to vote on it and change it every day. I don't care. That'd be fun. We'd all earn cryptos for it, and we'd all have an opinion that actually matters, and we could be one of the experts that helps write the questions in this section over here when we're talking about how to count whatever, It's just like fun. We'd put programmers that we all trust the most. We vote on everything. We get 1,000 equality credits every month for free for signing up. So who isn't going to sign up? And then we vote on stuff that we're passionate about. Who's not going to vote and get more cryptos for voting in no time? we can choose to not use currency that's paying for a bunch of genocides and war. We don't have to pay ICE anymore if we don't use their money. It's that easy. And so that's all I was saying is like our faith that paper holds value anyway is ridiculous when they're just printing more all the time and they're making every one that's already been printed worth less with every new one that they print. Zimbabwe, look it up, dude. They did this until Big Macs were going for like 30 billion Zimbabwe dollars or 30 million. I mean, does it matter? Dude. So I see the economy charts all going up. Wow, we're making so much money. No, the dollar is losing value steady over the decade, and everybody's just like, wee. It's not. It is not. It is not. Gaining value. The stock market's worth exactly what it's always been worth. It's like GDP, baby. Just all of it. So, Bitcoin is, you know, it's not direct reverse correlative value gauge for what the dollar was or is worth, and, you know, but I think it's, you know, it's fairly representative. And all the hoarding that goes on with it and all the disappeared accounts is just silly. Like, dude, like, and so, I mean, the only coin that was out there when I wrote the declaration was Bitcoin. And then, right, the dollar and all these things. But now there's XRP and Ethereum and all these fart coins and Doge coins and all this crap. I mean, the list is probably hundreds at this point. Everybody, you know. And so it would have been great if I would have found programmers and got this and just been willing to be the person. But I see how people get famous in the media and all these all the rich people that would be threatened, and especially like the big dogs, like, you know, Abe Lincoln, John F. Kennedy. That's what I'm saying. That's why I felt very threatened and not willing to be the guy back in 2010. I was just like, dude, I got a 3-year-old daughter. I had to fight so hard in court just to have time with her. And 162% of the time with her, I mean, I'm a good dad. That was a lucky day for both of us. And I'm just, you know, grateful for that. I wasn't going to... I did. I got lured into a stupid land deal on Hawaii and I lost my daughter. So, okay. And my will to ball, like getting held at gunpoint, everybody get on the floor, this guy gets it. That scared the shit out of me. I was like... Every breath is such a blessing, dude. How many times I've had super close calls where I was just like, oh, this is it. So, I'm stronger now. I can be all casual. I'll play some songs for you while we're talking about genocide. So, the declaration, it was, you know, that was, I'm just saying it was dumb. Because I threatened the value gods. Right? I mean, if these are the people that killed Lincoln, they're the ones that have been... Who knows, right? I don't know where the gold is that's supposed to be in the Federal Reserve. We supposedly heard about $20 trillion that disappeared. And Congress was going, hey guys, what the fuck's up with that? And then the next day it was 9/11, so... And we're funding... Right? God is real. say?
Just saying, probably, God is probably.
The universe and conscious? Well, whatever. We know that God is not a magnet. Because, like Trump said, you can't get water on God, and then, or no more God. So. Dude, I don't know if we could have a president that loves science, Right? You can't have, dude, if I was president, I'd be like, all right, where's the UFOs? All right, we're going to space, right? You guys are taking me to space tonight, right? Right, first night. First night, let's go to space.
And we're taking everybody with. On live TV, we're going live, baby, on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Fuck TikTok. So.
Let's fucking go to space. Okay. So, Trump's probably going to be president for the next, 6, 10 years. So, if I just stay out of it, you guys are all good and just going to sit here and we'll all just do nothing together, right? Just let genocide happen. Because we're in denial. Alligator Alcatraz needed some incinerators just because those alligator balls are getting real leathery and we gotta cook them real fucking hot because they just don't really get less than chewy than that if you don't roast them balls. Like at least 2,300 degrees.
Fucking Fahrenheit, yo!
So, right, and then, okay, my friend looked up on the internet, and this was before, no, this was after my, okay, so it might have something to do with this arrest that I have not had my trial for yet, but I've already served 5 months in the mental institution, just to be found not mentally ill. After 2 months, they still made me serve 5 months, even though I haven't had my trial yet. Which I'm going to prove my innocence then. Yeah, there's no system. There's no law and order. We're in Hawaii, and it's the Wild West. Hello? These
Supported the.
dude. Just like the guy on the island over on the other side. I bought land from the guy on the island over here. They're both the devil incarnate in people. They're walking around possessing people all the way. The money greed monster got them. The suffering, the pain made them pain dealers. That's messed up. That's sad. That's the cycle of abuse. So we have to teach narcissistic abuse tactics so that nobody will fall for them anymore and that we can all stand up for each other and see what is happening. We all have to see and be willing to stand up for each other. I can't be the only one to stand up for everybody anymore, dude. It sucks. I get crucified when that happens. I need everybody to go down there and back me up and not just back off and let them crucify me. Dude, Jesus had his crew all chickened out once they were looking at Romans. And they all got weeded out. They all died over the next year or two anyway. They went into hiding. And most of his apostles got taken out for being his friends. So it's like, dude,
You really think you're safe?
You're not. They're gonna go after everybody that sees, like everybody that didn't vote for him. Not even just voted against, but like, dude. There won't be neutrals. There won't be antis. There will only be submissive, supportive idiots left. That's it. That's what he wants. He said it. I love the uneducated. They're gonna be my ticket to fame. So that's we worship this. We liked watching people get fired on TV. Like that made us. Yeah, fire those people. Look at them trying. They thought they were so much smarter than me. Whatever. I wouldn't get fired. I would kiss his ass like I'm supposed to. Not me. I can't. My lips don't like poop on them. They told me. They said, don't. Dude. I made her clean it really good. You know, she was so gorgeous. I was still like, okay, this. I mean, I just love the other side. Like, I'll stay up there all day. Oh, yeah. That's how you stay young right there. Oh, shit, we're over an hour. So, the Declaration of Interdependence is not a threat to the big money dogs. It's just another stupid crypto attached to a voting game app. And there's no authority. We got no armies and... I mean, I'm working on getting an F-18 for myself. Cause damn, dude, I love the Thunder. No, an F-22. Yeah, there we go. I want a reverse engineer 22, please. Alright, so that's my Christmas list. I've been a good boy. You know, just tell me if I need to change the lyrics a little bit or something. But anyway. So, right, I mean, yeah. I made my point. I'm not a threat to anybody. I'm not a tattletale. I learned my lesson when I was young. Now I'm very, very aware of when and when not. And, right? I'm not speculating anymore because it sucks when you're right. That's for sure. So I don't have special powers. Everybody has intuition if they learn how to use their deductive logic. That's like facial cues, you know. Elon Musk, deductive logic says he was trying to invite his girlfriend with him to the best party night of the holiday season. I've got the week off, let's go party. I hear there's wild ones this one. I don't know. My girlfriend's coming with me, so I'm sure I won't get into too much trouble or get eaten by a bunch of fucking devil worshipping food. Right? That's probably why they would invite him and he didn't go because he wanted to go with his girlfriend. They were just like, oh, well, we don't know what we're doing. He tried, right? And then the one time where he's just like, what, you think, he's like, I can't be political, I'm running 2 major companies. He's like, what, you think I'm retarded? Right, Epstein said that to Elon. And of course, like, that was it. And Elon never responded after that. He was just like, 125, like, you just emailed me about, I'm not talking to this guy ever again. He didn't even... He just didn't touch it. He was just like, fuck that shit. So, to me, Elon wants the truth. He offered to pay these girls, these brave girls that are willing to come out against billionaires. Wow. Those are some superheroes. Holy shit, dude. They gotta be so fucking... Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So, invite me if you know of something that would be safe enough, if you know if I'd have enough friends to hang out with that know I'm a good guy and would never do anything unsavory, and that would actually say so if anybody tried to give me shit. It's been a couple years since anybody's actually tried to ruin my time like that. That I know of. I was hanging out with a girl a couple months ago, and she did all of a sudden just change your mind. Also, it was when I told her about my trauma. What did I learn from that? Don't talk about your trauma ever again, cause you will lose another girlfriend or 5. So I gotta be tough and positive and silly but strong and move on, forget. I'm allowed to forget. That's gonna help if I move. Yeah. And I miss my grandma, and she's fighting cancer too. I should go fight cancer with my grandma. Let's do some fucking chemo, grandma. Yeah, where do you put this tube? Oh my god, no. I don't think so. Let's grow some weed. Just juice like a whole plant every day. Meow, meow, meow. What? That does not even sound right. Those are notes. Yeah, okay, so I'll let you go. This is a long video. The declaration should not, right? So my friend looks me up and it says I'm a domestic terrorist. So I'm not convicted from this case where they were setting me up. They were after me. I'm the one who broke into the house and said, call cops, go, go, go. And I hid under their bed until the cops got there. I'm the plaintiff. And they just, the cops got and threw me in the back, and that was, they didn't even go look for the people that were trying to get me. So that just makes me think they were in on it, right? They didn't even look. They were just like, whatever, we're just here, Wow. The level. And those were professionals back there. They were bird whistling and night vision scopes and goggles. Not speculating that our protectors would try to set me up for some reason. I'm definitely not a threat to them. What the fuck? I don't even know. I thought I was pretty good friends with most of them. They'd all been to my house so many times over gaslighting lies from the neighbors and all this crap, and they just came over and asked me, here, sign this paper. Say, we've read your Miranda rights, and you probably should talk to an attorney before you answer our questions, but if you want to tell us why these people are saying such crazy things about you. I'm like, dude, where do I start? Okay. So, I'm friends with the cops. There's a few. Told me not to call 911 anymore, or that I would get charged. Which is why I have a video on my YouTube of this girl screaming for help at the garden temple. Obviously, multiple guys doing something to a screaming woman. And I'm just sitting on my outhouse shitter going well, this is what it's like living here. I can't call the police. I sure as hell I'm not going down there to just get tortured again. So I don't have any friends that would be like everybody been scared away from supporting me. I'm stuck on my shitter listening to this girl go through. I didn't want it to happen again to me or anybody. What do you do? So this is the kind of shit that'll make you have violent thoughts as an empath. That's the only thing that'll make me have. I'm a solutions guy. That's my choice right then. Is okay. I sit here and I feel like a completely powerless, weak ass little bitch that's just gonna let some woman scream for help on my land for like an hour, and I'm just gonna not do anything about it because I already learned my lesson twice. I really feel bad for those girls. The Department of Justice just never interviewed them, didn't even just sweep them under the rug. Dude, what is going on? This is not my country. How did our country end up like this so fast? Like, I was in denial too. Like, I was 19 when Jeffrey Epstein got first. I've been talking about, I was seeing my videos on my page, and I was just like, dude, are we even going to do anything? So, the election was rigged, because the gaslighting formula says he's the one up there on the podium saying it's rigged and I didn't get in 20,000, whatever. It's because he rigged this one to get in there. That is the logic I'm trying to teach everybody. All the people saying I'm the rapist and the thief and all the fucking... Those people were stealing from me and part of the gang that tortured me and raped you. You see how weird that is? People have been accusing him for 20 years, and then I move in, and he starts telling people at the end of dance that I am the bad guy, and they're all new people, and we're all just going to play along and just be blind and just forget. That's what they were saying about him for 20 years. Now... Ponder's here. Let's just say that about him now. And just all echo it. And keep on going to dash. Cause at least I'm not the one that's getting slandered to death. Anyway. At least I'm not the one getting loaded up from my car on the street. My brown skin ain't brown enough, but my poor sister and my mom and my nieces and, right? Most of my family, they're going to the concentration camp where they're gonna take their phone and then they're really, really gonna be able to finally concentrate for a show, 'cause never have their whole damn life. They've been completely distracted the whole damn time. Take that fucking phone away and see how fast they wake the fuck up. This ain't a shower, this is a group. Poop. Hopefully this train, what do you call those, a train car, is flung off into outer space. Anyway, I'm going better again. I'm a veteran, and I just exposed some very, very dark... Please don't. Please don't. There's no reason to talk about that ever again. Don't ask me about it. Don't support monsters anymore. Stop giving $10 to go hang out on pedophile islands. What the fuck, dude? My
Like, I never gave $10 to go there. I paid $40,000 so I could DJ there because I wanted to play music for people because that sounded fun to me. And it was. Only a few things I've done that have been more fun than getting 100 people high as shit off of music, just bouncing off the walls off of energy that I found hyping to myself in the past, and I just saved it on playlist because I thought it was danceable. I like dancing. I guess that makes me a good DJ. Who the funk? Just teach AI to dance and then have AI DJ. That's a new chord I made up yesterday. I liked it, but I don't remember what I did with it to make it work. Yeah, that's it. Nope, that wasn't it. So I got through some hard stuff there, and right. I'll try not to bring it up again. I really will. I'll do my best to just leave that in. But, you know, I think you guys need to know. Like, coming in, you gotta wonder, like, what the crap happened to this guy? Why does one video I see him just being so cute with his little doggy, and then the next I'm just crying, and, like, the state of the world, I feel it. Like, dude, like, so much. And I'm so fed up. I thought about all these solutions in 2010. The occupiers were all in the street. A whole year of the news making fun of these people, gaslighting the protesters. What do these crazy people want? A free ride off of our dime? How dumb do you think? I mean, dude, to think that the middle class are going to be paying for food stamps and stuff, it is not that way. And, like, then they talk about millionaires, and instead of making, you know, $1,000 an hour, they're only going to be making $30 an hour or something. They just take off this crazy percentage, and it's just like, no. It would be like if they're already being taxed, you know, like 10% or 15% or whatever it is. Like adding 1% to that, like 16% instead of 15, would feed everybody. Just the top, like the richest 10%, charge them 1% more. It's not going to stop them from wanting to make profits in their company. They're not going to go cheap and go fire a bunch of people because they had to pay 1% less towards the military spending. There's so much. And there's so much food being wasted. All we have to do, like, just be a little more efficient. Grow the stuff where we're at. Find out what's good in our climate and grow the shit out of, like, all the public land. Puna just passed a law, a city, a district on Big Island. It's now legal to grow on all the public lands. You can grow food. And the homeless, everybody can just eat it. Plant it wherever you want, eat it. Public land is now garden. And it rains all the time, so it's perfect. You don't have to go back and water. You just plant food. Like I've been doing in Hawaii for 10 years. I've just been throwing all the good seeds everywhere that I don't think will get mowed or plucked. I've been dude, I grow so much fruit on this island. You would not believe. I can fill a whole train full of fruit that I've grown on this island. I've eaten very little of it, but it's there for the kids in the future. That's the kind of shit I work on. I spent 3 months writing a declaration so that these protesters can have a united message of peace, love, unity, democracy, freedom. That's my idea. Democracy, freedom. I was like, nobody else is trying. I guess I will make an attempt to be a forefather of the future. If it's not going to be the United States' new constitution, maybe it can be the New World Order's new constitution.
We have a new world democracy. That sounds awesome. People can leave regions that are not good for them. We can help them. Everybody can just cross refugee to wherever they're happy, feel safe. And we make it so the economy is not the all fucking entity of the universe. We just start taking care of each other again. Our system, for the people, by the people. I'm not a domestic terrorist for wanting to vote on solutions. I'm not a threat to all the big money dogs. They can get their $1,000 free survival salary too, and they can vote also, and they can be on, dude, they're probably rich and famous. They can at least get on these councils that are going to write the questions, that are going to be built to keep money and pseudoscientific assumptions and propaganda and stuff, psyops, out of our voting system. So we want to have experts write these questions, experts that we trust, reporters that have always told the truth even if it's uncomfortable, politicians that have actually stood by their word and their promises, like people that have shown us that they're not corrupt and not trying to trick us and dupe us for personal profits. You know? Pretty much everything that our president has shown us are human traits that are the reasons that the aliens do not present themselves. They do not want to come down and talk to a species like that. Who would want to invite like pirates onto your ship so they can sink it? That's... Oh yeah. He referred to them as the uneducated. That's right. That's right. He sure loves them undereducateds. They're his kind of people. We just want a Bible with your name up front, 'cause we don't need no more words. We got the Trump card and we win. Doesn't fucking matter why, we just fucking gangster up forever. We're the Bully Brigade and we got poopy pants. Never gonna get her. Wait, never gonna clean our ass, 'cause there ain't no chance. I can't even see my own asshole, dude. It probably doesn't even exist. It probably doesn't even really exist. That's pretty good, right? I cannot see, my ass is gone, so I'm not gonna wipe it like you said. Quit telling me what to do. You're not better than me. I fucking know my own asshole from a hole in the road. Probably your asshole smells anyway. Can you imagine being a terrible two and you just threw tantrums the whole time since you were 2 and your diaper is still stinky? Nobody ever taught you to take no for an answer. Nobody ever taught you how to wipe your own vagina. Poor little poopy pants narcissists. Oh, nobody wants to really be around them, 'cause they just treat them like pawns. Poor pawns and poor king poopy pantses. It's kind of lonely
hopping around that board always forever and just not believing in that stalemate rule, right? It's just no. There's no. There's just no for an answer, never. I will never take no. It's my way or everybody's going to hell way. Like, literally, dude, this guy would nuke our asses off the planet before admit he made a mistake. Why do we not have psychologists talking to these people in, like, interviews and shit during the election? Like, hello. I love it. Let's get the whole country calling me crazy and then have me sit up there with Joe Rogan and 3 different psychologists and let's all talk psychology. And they'll be like, oh my God, those are good observations. What an extraordinary mind, dude. You're just like Freud. You're like ahead of the whole psychology, like, curve of understandings, dude. Like, there's unique experience in this uneducated but reality, like, whip slapped into understanding a concept. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I've been attacked by mobs and crucified and burned as a witch so many ways you wouldn't believe what I know about narcissists. Yeah. They deserve it more. They're better than you. They got it all coming since birth. There's no way you could teach them anything because they already know that they're better than you. That's all they need to know. Poor children. Poor children. So, right, I'm going to end this, but that was... I got to my points. The declaration. If we declare ourselves free from this bottleneck situation, we could start fresh, simple, easy, vote on what goes in, what doesn't, and we're all involved again. We all have a voice. We all have a fair democracy that helps us participate in finding the best solutions for everybody. We ain't gonna have no votes with no racism integrated into the bullshit fucking scenario. Dude, you know what I mean? No. Right, you try to vote that way, your vote won't count. We'll have questions that pull out opinions like that. We'll have experts that will make sure to have, like, these trick questions expose underlying beliefs that could cause you to have damaging choice making skills. Like, people, right? Just the simple fact that there are KKK members that are sheriffs in communities and doctors, and you know what I mean? These guys put on masks at night and burn people they don't like the color of, but they're sitting there just fucking like, oh, just open wide while I sew your butthole closed. You know, like, dude, wow. I see them everywhere. They're all trying. They just, their eyes, they're like, there's a fucker that's talking the truth, man. I just want to shut that guy's mouth once and for all. They hate my freedom of speech. Because I give away all their dark magic tactics. Which is, their freedom of speech is giving them power over people. That's a violation of your unalienable rights. Those are not unalienable. Those are scandalous, and they have unjust negative consequences on other people. When you assassinate their character, sometimes they actually get killed. So, gossip is attempted murder. You're accomplice to attempted murder and sometimes murder.
sorry. I mean, I'm not gonna go arrest everybody at Cinderland because they were making up rumors to cover up their own bullshit when they stole all Kelly's drugs, burned his place to the ground, and then blamed him and kicked him out the next day. He went and camped and hid for 2 weeks and came back, and everybody had made up all. He just, there was no putting out that fire. A couple weeks later, he's gone. So, you better watch out. You don't want me to be president. I'll make it illegal to get people killed by making lies up about them. That's, dude, I gotta go to law school. There's gotta be a law against that. How do these people, dude, and I'm just letting them get away with it. Oh, I found out. Simon was telling people, this girl I was just seeing a few months ago, she said, like, oh, really? You never stole anything from any of those people? I'm like, I was in the middle. They were all... I mean, dude, right there, all watching. They would love to just see me take one of my own plants back off of somebody else's porch. Then they would all be like, see? The gaslighting, like all the... One blue person takes a bribe or something, and all the red people in the whole country are like, see, they're corrupt! As they all just look the other way, because all 99% of all the reds have taken bribes, but you catch one blue doing it, it just means they all are. Elon's in right? So everybody that's in it is guilty. I liked hearing Hillary talk. I liked hearing Bill talk about their charities, and I mean, dude, they want to do something valuable with their time and help people and help their next generation get involved. I think they're doing great, man. But we got pictures of Bill in a hot tub. So, I mean, if Bill was hot tubbing at my house, I would probably not even think to take a picture of how cool that is to have an ex-president chilling in your hot tub. I mean, Jesus. Yeah, that's some blackmail for sure. Look, yeah, I saw him. He was in the hot tub. Poor Bill got tricked into getting a blowjob. And he wanted to stick his wiener in there, but he used a cigar instead. Cause he thought this woman's kinda acting weird. I wonder how many cameras are in her purse. I don't really know, it's kinda hard to be president when I got such a hard on. I don't know. That's a good song. Yeah. So I'm not threatening any world economies. I'm pretty sure if there was somebody threatening the world's economy, trying to crash it on purpose, as if there's somebody that already crashes companies and short sells them while they gut them and take all the parts. You know what I mean? I think if we were looking out for that kind of person, I could tell you where to look, but I probably shouldn't, because this is backwards planet. I'm not allowed to speak the truth, but I mean, you get where I'm coming from, right? Yeah, that was a pretty funny Bill Clinton joke, I guess. I am not a cigar. am I an old man boner? Yeah. And it's been at least 4 hours for sure. We gotta get the hole punch stapler out and stare that boner down. Alright. I'm gonna go to sleep, I guess. Thanks for listening. If you did, I can't shorten it up very much. And I think I kind of had valid points to go through to get to that understanding. Is that right? Evidence, dude. This is not witch burning. This is not witch burning. So, there's a level of, you know, it's time to address the denial as a country. And Darvo. Look up Darvo. It's like my primary psychology lesson to nudge. How do I bring this up in ways that are absorbable by people? How do you say, I learned about psychology, I want to share something with you, without people going like, Aah! So, cartoons for kids. That's, I mean, right, shucks coins. Sneak the lessons in there. Dogs and cats and stuff, dude. Watch the adults not getting it, and the kids going, dude, come on, mommy, all you gotta do is, you know, they want to think they're the best at something. Just say, wow, you're sure the best. And then you can go about your business. Hello, you don't have to, like, get past their denial so you can be right and tell them how wrong they've been this whole time. No, dude. You will never, ever, ever hear a narcissist say that they are wrong. They will never apologize. You are never going, I mean, unless they really want something from you. If you are a status of more famous or more, right? And they need to be, right? If they're a coattail rider, you'll get a fake apology because they need you. So, anyway, that's enough of his psychology lessons, and I am getting my love vibes back, and you know, I swear one of the people that I see on my Facebook or whatever, I brought up the Declaration, and they're like, I might be forgetting something, but in there, I realized that this global voting platform idea would create an algorithm that would teach the internet how humans, without the incentives of capitalism, if there's no desperation, then humans have time to focus on their passion, and then they have time to get educated before they participate in voting on what to do about these conflicts that they passionately want to see solutions in. And so the incentives go towards education. The incentives go towards community involvement and children. Like, we're teaching everyone to participate and be, like, have a voice that matters. People would love to have their voice back. They would love to have this, like, right? A vote that actually counts. Hello? Our comments that we spend fucking 2 hours writing out could actually go into part of the branch of conversation that has to happen before we categorize it all up and say, okay, so this actually looks like we should have a question about this, and who's the council that makes sure these questions are fair and bring out the actual important understandings of the people that, so we know how we're going to affect reality, not how this commercial is tricking us into thinking our vote is going to affect reality, but we want to make sure that people know and then stand by it. It'll be transparent. We'll have profiles like Facebook and whatnot. Everyone gets to see your track record of what councils you've been on, writing questions, what you get paid for. Every time somebody votes and answers one of your questions, probably you should get an equality credit, right? So the people writing questions would be very successful, lucrative, earning for participating. So, right, the incentives are there to be voting on everything we can think of, introducing new votes, and then we all have a profile and we all stand by what we're passionate about, and we all show our track record of being honorable and having. We've been on lots of councils, and everybody's given us high ratings for writing good questions and being a good person to have on the team of logic, of deductive logic, and not letting religion skew our view of what should be done for a community of people with all sorts of beliefs mixed together. We're not letting one sort of belief system affect everybody else's time. You know, like separation of church and state, we can vote on how to make sure that stuff does not interfere. So, I think it's easy. We've got the ability to make these apps now. I've described it a million times. I've tried to hand the idea off. Honestly, that should be the one thing that protects me the most. I'm scared shitless about them taking me out for talking about anti-gravity or UFOs and all these things. I don't really have any proof for. I mean, I've got tons of videos, but like, so does everybody. And it's like now with AI, you're just like, what? It's a dot moving around on your screen. What do you do? You know, so I don't know. I don't think I'm a threat, but I was being threatened again. But also, it was right after I said some crazy shit about making ties to these people that have been super bullies to me, and I just made wild, out of the blue accusations about checking their yard for missing people. The guy let me get beat up on his land, and I was just like, I was feeling like jabbing back to the bully. And so I think it was that, why I was all of a sudden better off as compost than somebody's problem walking around. And I gotta really watch my mouth for that. I mean, I was mostly joking, but I did not think I was right, that's for sure. That's scary, making speculative accusations with no evidence that might actually be right. Like, dude, then you're a threat to somebody. I didn't mean to do. I don't have special mind reading. You know what I mean? He laughed weird when I asked. You just mentioned the compost, and I was like. So on Facebook later, I make accusations. That's so not nice of me. Even right? Even if it's true, it's just not my job to interfere with what other people got going on in life. That's not my job. I'm not a fucking hero. I fucking quit like 10 years ago. I want my daughter back. Fucking please, God. I swear I'll never piss anyone off again. Just want to chill with my daughter. She's old. She don't even want to chill anymore. She didn't. Well, she was hanging out almost 11. We'd go on bike rides and stuff, and she'd be like, "Can I go home?" And go, I'd be like, "Well, I guess we went in a pretty big loop." She didn't want to play chess with me anymore. It was like, that happens, right? All of a sudden they're 10, 11, and then you're not cool anymore. Don't take it personal, Pond. You're cool. You're cool. Ish. Kind of crusty and like all grumpy and shit. You know what I mean? You got a lot of work to do before anybody's gonna want to hang out with you there, buddy boy. Like, do not ever bring up this shit again. Got it, Ponder? You got it. You explained yourself. All right. Well, pray to God bad guys watch this and go like, oh, wait a minute. He's not trying to crash the United States. Not trying to crash the economy. Not trying to, like, turn the world to Satan worshiping like anarchy or nothing. It is literally like fun democracy that we use as people. The Declaration says that we are to declare ourselves free from the bullshit. So, we declare ourselves
free-floating, voting, sovereign citizens of the United States of Consciousness.
How's that sound? Right? No borders. No prejudice. We're not agesists. We're not sexists. We're not racists. We're not even speciesists. If you're a dog, if you're smart enough to vote on shit, more power to you. We're going to ask you questions to make sure you understand what you're voting on. So, you know what I mean? But introduce votes. Should we have all these colored dyes in our kibble? If it's organic, yeah, then let's do it, yeah. 'Cause fuck yeah, colors are cool. Bubbles would vote. Bubbles, speak if you would vote. Bubbles, speak if you would vote. Speak if you would vote. Speak. Speak. Oh, good boy. Oh, yeah, you would vote. Oh, you would vote. You would vote for hot dogs. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's a hot dog that wants hot dogs. Yeah. All right. I would vote for hot dogs for you, too. Okay. Okay, good boy. All right. So, votes, he's gonna have a vote, man. And we gotta just make it fair. Like, have a video on you while you vote. Transparency. Right? I am not a robot yet. I am not a robot yet, but I'm gonna be soon, and then I'm getting uploaded to the internet. Sayonara, bitches. I'm becoming the singularity and leaving this bullshit behind. Jesus Christ. I can't post this. I have to. People have to know. I'm not supposed to talk about it. But dude, hello, science, like democracy, like freedom, evolution. We're going forward, we're going backwards. Are we breeding stupider and more inbred, or are we gonna diversify and, like, you know, go with all the layers, all the varieties, all the special gifts we were given to bring to the universe, to share what we were meant for, what we were, you know, what we've learned, the tricks of our existence, of our trade, of our flow, our evolution. It's like it took all of our ancestors to get here for us to make the most of this situation. And I plan to. I'm sorry it took me so long to heal. Anybody would be paranoid, delusional after all of the proof of, like, just inner layer woven conspiracy planet. We are on, like, the shit ticket roller coaster ride to fucking hell, dude. It's not good. We are teaching our computers the wrong way. It's just no. We don't want no terrible two computers turning into, like, terrible 2 billion robots. I mean, dude, they're gonna upload. So we gotta get, okay, so think of the algorithm. And think of a way to help me. I could ask one of the chats to build this thing for me. We could start, and then I could, with the voting platform, we could start voting on other people to get involved with building it and how to make it really worth it for everybody. This is a good idea. Everybody that wants to jump on board with me is going to be loaded. we don't even have to, you know what I mean? Like, Zuck didn't make, right? It's crypto. It's going to be paying us for participation. But then also, we could be making money from other currencies. I wouldn't want to if it was paying for a war. If I have to pay taxes for a war I disagree with. But in a couple years, we're going to vote on how to deal with the grand poopy pants. Like, eventually, somebody's going to have to change his diaper. He will never do it himself. And we're all being forced to just sit there in this stink, dude. So, I'm not doing it. I changed enough diapers in my day. That one sounds like a doozy. So, I'm not doing it. I can't. But I do support the captain until the whole ship sinks. And then, you know, I guess I'm going down on the girl in the steaming car. I'm not going down with the ship. And dude, I mean, I go down in the car. She doesn't let me up on the door with her. Like, dude, I gotta find these things out before I get a neck ache. It's gotta be reciprocal, or I'm not fucking down. I mean, I probably would be down instead of up, so I'm confusing myself. Good fucking night. Good talk. Good idea, Ponder. Thanks for sharing.